So this is your first walk today. We expect to be going home and levitating. You'll probably be doing the Sunday dinner when you're getting home. Fucking your bear will be like, what's going on? It's just a great feeling, okay? So if you've come here today, and you've come here because you are feeling a little bit low and a little bit lost in the world and society, this is your start now.
It come from the darkest moments in my life. That's why I believe that it's turned into something massive in this community.
It's getting out into nature, it's reconnecting with the things that are important to you, but it's probably more than anything just a safe space. And I think that sense of community, that sense of support that people feel from it is probably the biggest aspect to it.
It's like a brotherhood, it's like a family. These are fellas that I wouldn't bat an eyelid in the street, you know what I mean? There's fellas ranging from, what, 15 to Tommy Tarzan, 75. And I think that's what makes it better to me for Thrive, is that we've all got something in common, no matter what situation we're in.
I was in it for about 3-4 months of thinking about taking my own life. But sometimes you can have everything and, yeah, it just comes and hits you. I seen Men Without Mass interview. I didn't even know what it was. Clicked on it, listened to it. Half an hour later, mate, I'm in here in tears. I'd listened to 4 men talking about how I was feeling for the first time. Men who had felt suicidal, men who had then took grip of it and got their life back, and then they were holding a retreat for men. And it was a bit like fate. And wow, was I out my comfort zone, I tell you now. Sitting in a 20-man circle with men you don't know, talking in a circle for the first time in my life. By day 3, I was a ball and wreck. I'd discovered traumas I didn't even know what were traumas on there. I got taught that everyone's trauma is as bad as the next man's because you're the one who carries it around. Obviously, nature was a big part of it, and I had a vision on the retreat, what I was going to do, so I come away from the retreat and put everything into it.
Is anyone not dipping today? All out, boys.
If I feel like I'm getting flustered, life's getting a bit too much to me, I revert to the cold water. No one's thinking about the bills that are coming in, what jobs I've got booked in next month when you're sitting in cold water.
The biggest advice I can give, do not go and check it out first.
We all done a jump for the first time. Let's go a bit more past our comfort zones.
Kev, all fire, lad. All fire. Keen as you, lad.
We started jumping one by one. Some men were a bit nervous. And then we got to the M1 and Hillan, one of my good mates, grew up with steak. He was petrified. When he finally jumped in the end, was no auto cue. Just the morale from the lads and the cheers.
That was one of the greatest moments in Thrive history, I think, with him jumping off the cliff the first time last year.
It sent me emotional, lad. It was one of them moments where I just sat there and I just thought, is this happening? Look what we're creating here, lad.
Like, I'm smiling now thinking of it because of the effect that this little brotherhood we've had going on has had on somebody. He wouldn't have done that if we weren't there cheering for him and screaming for him. If I remember rightly, a few months ago, we did the same cliff jump when you were there, and it was Paul, wasn't it, that didn't want to jump in, Steve's brother.
I'm absolutely petrified, I'm not going to lie. I have, even when I'm putting my head on the pillow at night, I am thinking about it, proper dreading it. I've got to get that feeling tomorrow, so I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to do it.
It's just moments like that that make you realise, even though you may not think you have something in common with these men, you do, man. To jump off that for me was a big thing, because in my head, before even jumping off, all I was thinking was, what if there's rocks that I'm going to jump into? What if there's rocks that are underneath the water that I'm going to hit my head on? What if I don't jump off properly, I slip and break my back? And I think that's a great sign, a great, like, relatable kind of thing towards overthinking. If I'd thought at the time of jumping that I'd be getting out of that water, feeling amazing, then bad thoughts wouldn't have even been there. And I think that's a key thing to remember with anxiety and stress and overthinking. I didn't bang my head on a rock. I didn't go right to the bottom of the water and break my legs on a rock. I didn't slip off. You know what I mean? All these things I was thinking just didn't happen.
The magic here today, boy. Pan round and get on that. That's what a day out in nature looks like.
It's impossible to be in the past or the future when you're doing a cold water dip. If you jump into some cold water, I challenge you to try and think about anything other than just surviving.
You cold? Yeah.
And as a result of that, it grounds you in the present. Now, again, there's all kinds of science to it. The cold shock proteins are released. They help with inflammation. They can help fight disease. No one wants to go into cold water. But the fact that you don't want to do it and you still do instantly gives you that reward to say, that was hard, but I did it anyway.
It's that natural wake up, that natural fresh feeling. Your dopamine's increased, so you're much more happier, much more lively. You can't explain it. It's like runner's high. You go on a 5K run, you feel amazing after it. You get in a cold water dip, you feel amazing after it. It just became like an obsession. My mum was like, you're not going there again, are you? You're going to get ill. And I'm like, you don't understand, it doesn't make you ill. It makes you better.
Basically, it become part of a form where you'd watch men turn up, sit, watch, and then on walk 2, 3. I think they then start saying, I need to start participating in this and push myself to the edge. Because they seen the joy, they seen the energy of the men when they were getting out the water, especially after our whole dance, mate. No one's told to get in the cold water, but I think that feeling when you see men laughing, about to go and do it, you think, I'm going to get in here, I'm going to give it a go.
It's an amazing group of lads that have come together here. I've got a vision of what we set up here for Thrive. I'm going to try and get in as many counties up and down the country. We've started it here in Runcorn. So if you've come here today, and you've come here because you are feeling a little bit low and a little bit lost in the world and society, this is your start now.
I can't go out the house without having a breathwork. You wouldn't go out the house and not brush your teeth. That breathwork's like that for me now. Just to oxygenate my body, get me awake, get me ready, set me sights for the day.
nobody feels right doing breath work. I remember doing breath work and sitting there with my eyes like that, looking around, because I thought people were looking at me. I felt like an idiot. But then the more and more I did it, the more I realised like this actually plays a part in what Thrive is trying to do. You've got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
It's not this spiritual thing for me, it's a scientific thing. Most of us have learned how to breathe wrong. So most of us are chest breathers, and we breathe in and our chest expands, and really it should be our diaphragm and our stomach that expands first and then into the chest. It's so intrinsically linked to your emotion. If you feel stressed or anxious, your heart rate starts to go faster. As a result of that, your breathing becomes more shallow and more rapid. So of course the reverse is true, that if you can control your breathing, you can control that anxiety and those feelings of fear and panic. I remember these two guys, they'd been in jail, one of them for 7 years, one for 10 years. And we mentioned we were going to do some breath work. And these are big, tough guys. And I remember them looking at me and I'm thinking, oh God, they're not going to get involved in this. They're not going to do this. And within about 5 minutes, one of them was in floods of tears. And he just released all this emotion that had been built up and built up for years. Just gave him a big hug and he was crying on my shoulder. You know, this is one of the toughest, biggest guys you'll ever meet. You know, like I said, he'd just done a long stretch in jail. And I thought, if that can get through to someone like that, if that can touch someone, then it can help anyone, can't it?
If you just want to take in the scenery, be glad to just take that in, all right? You don't have to do what we're saying here. It's entirely up to you.
We were on top of this mountain with the most amazing view.
The first time I ever done a walk, it was one of the hardest things I ever done to ask 20, 30 men from local run called, right boys, we're going to sit in a circle now, I'm going to do a bit of a breath work. I had about 30 of them looking at me like I had two tits on my head.
Everyone's nervous, everyone's panicking about it.
Tell you what, it's changed a lot of things in my life, breath work. It's allowed me to come back into my body, find out what's going on in my head. I've never known for the last 40 years, that's why I struggled, mate. What the fuck's going on in there?
The more important part of it for me is to learn how to relax. Do deeper, slower breathing, nasal breathing. When we breathe through the nose, we release more nitric oxide, which helps the blood get into our blood vessels easier and into our muscles. You become vasodilated. You get more oxygen to your entire body. Then if you're in a stressful situation, you only have to do 5 minutes worth and you can instantly bring your heart rate down and calm yourself completely. But then the other side of it,
All right, so let's get yourself into position.
there's one that's normally referred to as chaotic breathing,
Okay, so get ready.
which is the really deep breathing where you'll sort of hands in the air and back out, so it'll be a...
Keep going, okay? Now you're gonna feel like slowing down at this point. I want you to speed up. You're gonna start feeling your muscles hurting.
So you deplete yourself of oxygen, you get rid of the carbon dioxide.
Every time you go up in the air, you're pointing them upwards as close as you can. Keep going. Hold it. Don't breathe out. Hold it for as long as you can. Again, your body's telling you you need to take a breath. You almost certainly don't.
And your body, as a result, learns how to deal with stress. We can go to 1,000 counselling sessions and you can talk about your trauma and the things, and you get it out in words, but those emotions are still trapped somewhere within your body. You only have to do some breath work 4 or 5 times and do it properly to realise that that release of breath goes in tandem with a release of emotion as well.
I've always been a fan of nature, to be honest, and I find that that's when you're really at peace with yourself. I'd just been through quite a rough patch. I was very, very close with someone who was taking part in the walks. And he messaged me and was like, mate, just give it a go. You know, it's not going to hurt, basically, to give it a go. And I'll thank him for that for a long time, like, because if it wasn't for him just going, try these walks out, I wouldn't be where I am today, I think, so. I remember getting on the minibus that we'd had for about 20 to 30 of us at the time. We were sat right next to Bri, and I was like, oh, the only person that I know has fell asleep. I'm quite socially anxious. He asked me what's brought me to Thrive, and I told him, and that's where it all started with me and Bri, really. He kind of was quite shocked at the age of me and what I'd been through to lead me to want to come on these walks.
It was Thrive. I'm trying to build a community of like-minded, open men. Walking and talking once a month. It's unbelievable what it can do. I've seen what it can do in sharing circles when you want to go a bit more intimate.
Sharing circles are necessary, whether it be you talk to one friend, you talk to a group of friends, or you're talking to 50-plus men, you know. I think that was one of the things that was toughest for me, getting asked by Bri one time to talk about my story in a circle of easily 50 men.
Yeah, it's not cold today, is it?
It's definitely a pride thing. You don't want to let another man know you're struggling. It's like a sign of weakness. You're taught to be tough, aren't you? And like, you're taught when you're a kid, stop crying and get a clip around the head. Do you know what I mean? You're taught not to cry. You're taught not to open up as a man.
People couldn't believe what I had to say for such a young age. I've had stuff going on in my life since the age of 7, I'd say. Mum and Dad split up. She ended up meeting another man. I knew there was something about him that I just didn't like. He'd basically been a domestic abuser. He was hitting my mum. He left us and we ended up homeless because my mum couldn't afford to pay all the bills on her own with 3 kids. The worst thing was we lived right across the road from high school where I went, and there was an eviction notice on the door. So all my friends and people that knew me in school are walking past my house and it's this big eviction notice. So for me at that age, when school was the only kind of safe place for me to go and I was getting bullied a bit, I just felt like I had nowhere to go. And we were in lockdown 2020. And I just went on a weight loss journey. I went from 25 stone 4 to 14 stone 4, so I lost 11 stone. It was single-handedly the greatest achievement of my life. I posted it on Twitter, got about 15,000 likes on it, and this girl from Dublin had messaged me and we got chatting. She followed me fitness Instagram and we ended up just meeting up, and within a few months we kind of made it official, was in a relationship. I was on cloud 9. We decided to call it quits, and it was tough because she was in a position where she felt like I wasn't doing enough. I was in a position where I was like, I'm trying my hardest, and it just ended. It just was awful, and it ended. Every day was just dark. I just couldn't get out of this little hole that I was in, and I've never had suicidal thoughts ever in my life. It just got too much, and one day I was driving home from my mate's house. We'd just been out bowling, you know, had something to eat and a bit of a laugh. And it's just full of trees and the motorways to the left, and I just had this kind of darkness come over. And I thought, this is it, you just do it. And I remember picking up speed on this road and just heading towards any tree that I could find, any kind of road to just fly off. I just didn't want to be here no more. And I think, I'd say a couple of seconds before I went to do it, something just clicked, and I was like, I need to sort myself out here, really. And Thrive's played a big part in that, kind of having this group of fellas to go to. You know, there's countless names and fellas that I could go through and tell you who've been there for me and put the time in with me. And I think, alongside admitting myself to private therapy and going to Thrive walks, would not be here today. I can confidently say that, so.
Malham Cove was the breaking point for me. I've got an amazing wife, I've got 2 amazing children. I had my own business at the time. I just got to a point in my life where I give up things that I like doing. And then when my kids didn't need me anymore, they both got cards, I felt lost. It became very heavy on my shoulders. One day I went to Malham Cove. I was all right in them. I got up in the morning in a good mood, set off early. Done a cold water dip, that made me feel great. But then I got to the top of Malham Cove and I sat at the edge. At first I was just taking in the view. But then the voices in my head come in. I started thinking about just pressures that didn't mean any at the time. It was asking me questions. Do you want to be here anymore? This voice in my head was getting so tiring. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I was thinking that day. The voice from behind me just come, and he must have been stood watching me, and he just asked me if I was okay. And it made me jump out of that zone I was in for probably, I don't know, probably about half an hour, just sitting there on my own. And I come away from it, and to a total stranger, I broke down. I just started crying. I didn't even know him, mate. And we walked back to the car park. I'll never forget the chat with the guy. Never took his name, didn't know, probably never bump him. I think that's why I go to Malham Cove so much, in case I bump into him again. But yeah, that was the starting point then. I decided to come home. I told the man I'm going to go home and tell my wife and my kids and what's going on in my head. I can't keep it a secret no more. I need to open up, and that's what I done that day. Just have your own moments, all right? Just reflect on the month ahead. Someone around you might be feeling low. And you're feeling great today. Go and fucking pick them up there. You've got the energy after this walk. You know what's coming next, boys, yeah? We're gonna let it all out, and we're gonna start the new month the way we wanna go on, yeah? We're gonna get what we want in life. 3, 2, 1. Let it out, boys. Ah! One more time. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Last one, everything. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Let's have a good month, boys. I want to elevate men. I want men to turn up because they want to be there, they want to make change. We raise 5 men. Them 5 men then become leaders in their own right. And then the next thing that'll happen is, because they've got that feeling of, I'm back to my best, they reach out to other men then, and they lift another 5. Before you know it, we've got 10, 15 men who are thriving. And what's happening is friendships are blossoming out of this. We're not becoming lonely no more. We're getting out with the right people in the right environments, and we're talking about the right things.
I think at the time that I was going through that kind of change in mindset and suicidal thoughts, if I ever get like that now, I just see it as, that's life. You're gonna have days where you're down, but there's always a reason for carrying on. And it's down to you to bring yourself out of them holes that you get in. Surround yourself with the best people you can. And I think I've got the best people around me and thrive as it is.
Do things that you've never done before. Try and change it up a bit. Because if you're doing the same stuff all the time, do you know what? It's not going to change. Try different things. Check in if there is any men's walks going out local to you. Take yourself out on a walk when you're feeling low. It's amazing what you can do when you just go out on your own and connect with nature. Go and meet people that you've never talked to in your life. And only you can change this. Only you can change the mood that you're in.
Just talk. Like Bri said, let that shit go. It's as simple as that. If you don't talk, it's just going to bottle up. You're not going to get anywhere with it. You might be embarrassed for the period of time that you're talking, but it's going to save you a lifetime of hurt. You're not a burden if you talk to your friends. If your friends decide they don't want to talk about it, then they're a bad friend, simple as. You know, surround yourself with good people that you can go to and just talk. That's it.
You feel, is this walk for me? People are on this walk to get help from someone who might have an addiction, whether it be drugs, alcohol, whatever. But, you know, I am just a normal lad, but that's what it's about. If I'm thriving, maybe someone can bounce off me, you know, but just by chatting to me on the walks.
Thrive's just helped me grow as a man with my vision. I've got my vision, it's on the backboard. I've got a vision where I want to go with it. That's what Men Without Masks brought back to my life. It gave me a goal, it gave me a vision. It made me believe in myself again, and it made me want to put my hand out and help more men.
You can go on these walks and you can walk solo, but just the fact that you're out there in nature with 30, 40, 50 other guys doing the same thing, you feel a part of something, and that connection will be the first sort of spark that will get you back to feeling the way that you want to be. So I couldn't recommend it enough, all aspects of it.
Just seeing our Thrive growing in this small town of Runcorn, it made me start looking at the bigger picture then. And I believe there should be a Thrive in as many counties as possible. Thrive where they're talking, hiking, reconnecting, improving visions and empowers. There's definitely more men out there like me in different counties who can set this up. We're a blueprint for it. Anyone ever needs any help, we're here because we want to elevate not just men in our county, but all around the country. This is our country, do you know what I mean? It's got to get men back up to where we are. So Thrive, I think it's going to be massive. I know we're a non-profit organisation and it'll always be the case. My next stage of it, I've got to go into workspaces and I've got to use our local companies who are, some companies who are thriving, who can look at the men and the women in their community and can they give a little bit back. We're out there in nature, us men, we're so scared of what other people think. So when I'm asking men to slip down to the bills or the shorts and stand there and start doing the hoe dance, people are looking at me like, oh, can I do this? And they're the uncomfortable situations I want to be putting the men in.
Let's work this energy up!
Because once they allow themselves to do it, and then go and get in the water. When they get home later and they see that they've been a part of that, and they haven't bothered about who's looking at me, who's watching me, no one's asked about you, and they let themselves go, magic happens. That's when that voice in your head go, I enjoyed that, I'm going back there next month.
Brian started the movement because he was feeling the emotions, surrounded by the loneliness, deep within the ocean. As he's drowning in his thoughts, he started seeking the devotion to be fixing how he felt and put the healing into motion. Nature was the first step, finding different places where he could be at ease and let his mind go through the paces. Be alone and figure out the problems that he faces as his lungs breathe the air and help him break it into stages. Suicidal thoughts became a part of the journey, and he could see the gates but couldn't part to the pearlies. He knew he wouldn't do it, but the darkness was scary as his brain's playing games, but his heart kept him wary. It was fight time, either get to moving or remain, cause life just isn't nice when you've been oozing in the pain. Everybody's got a choice and you can choose and make a change. Start feeling less trapped when you loosen the restraints. The weights on his shoulders started lifting, and then he realised that with a plan he could be gifting other people going through these similar things, and they could bring all the pain, cause with Thrive people listen. This ain't a place to talk football or what's been on the news. This is a place to let your walls down and speak about you. They've created a safe space you can be speaking your truths and realise you're not alone if you was needing a proof.
I know you're broken, you feel hopeless. There's a darkness in your mind. Come with me and we will take a walk. We'll talk and find a light. If you're open, I'll help you cope with all these demons that you fight. When you're lonely, you're surviving, but together we will thrive. We will thrive.
Nice one.
That was cold, that was.
Nice one, boys.
I needed that.